¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Wednesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday. My bad. I accidentally put Thursday. Kind of jumped the gun there. How's it going, everybody? Welcome, Michael Hassler, Judgment Free Zone. I'm pretty sure I've seen you before. Can't remember. Alio, welcome. Cosmic Seeking, welcome. Yes, it is. It is indeed Wednesday, not Thursday. DeSantis campaign has stolen from Peaky Blinders. I think that's like the least important part of the DeSantis campaign. But okay. Yeah, Wednesday Junior. No, it's Friday. It's Thursday Junior. Yeah, happy fake Thursday. There you go. A-Bond, how's it going? Welcome. I have not been on when you are on mostly. Yeah, mostly I've been relegated to the weekends, not weekends, evenings. Hope you all had a uneventful, work-free, long weekend. Certainly, it was nice to have some time to catch up on a whole bunch of stuff that I had to do. So I do apologize. I did mean to stream yesterday, but I could not. So here we are. I'm just make sure we got everything going. The new Indy Jones flick is better than Crystal Skull. You actually saw it? No, I have not seen. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. I have not seen any of the I have not seen any like very much of the Indiana Jones series. So I'm gonna be I'm gonna be honest. I don't. It's not one of like the franchises that I got into. All right, folks, we definitely have a few things to go through. Where do we even begin? There's definitely a lot of news. $50 55 commercials. Yikes. Yeah, like that's one of the things that I don't like about the movies. Oh man, not only is it incredibly expensive, but you still get a ton of advertisements. But yeah, that's right. Food is expensive too. $27 just like at the concession, like $27 could get like a really big meal in any restaurant plus tip for two people, I think. Although now like it's kind of expensive, to be honest. But yeah, $27 is a lot. No, I would not I would not pay $27 at the movies just for the concession stand food. Ha. I didn't realize that. That's right, $27. Welcome, Echo Wrestle Dragon. In my day, we only spent $10 for a movie date. $10 for the whole thing? I don't think that even buys you the ticket. Firefly, based $27, true. Yeah, $10 doesn't even buy you the ticket now. the movie ticket was $17. That's ridiculous. So like, I mean, you could easily spend $100 if you have if you have two people. If you have two people, you can easily spend $100. Nah, fam, that's too much. That's just way too much. Yeah, $50 a pop, $50 a person. If it's $50 a person, then that's $100 for both. For both. No, thank you. Nah. Like, I'll stick to like streaming services, and I'll just like rent it later for a few bucks, or maybe I don't know. Renting it for a few dollars, or even renting it for $20 is cheaper than going to see it at the movies. I'd be old. I mean, like I certainly remember when tickets were a lot cheaper. Um, that's just wild. Yeah, 17 plus the 27 for the food, and that's per person. I can't do that. Yeah, that's well, it is like basically $50 with tax and everything. So you do that times two, it's $100. Tickets in 1980 was $7 at 6 p.m. showing. Yeah, I mean, I remember even like 10 bucks, $12 was a lot. That was pushing it, and that was years ago. A long time ago. But yeah, if you think I'm spending $17 for one ticket and then having to buy food, I mean, I'm sneaking food in. I'm sorry. I'm definitely sneaking food in. I'm not gonna eat. I don't remember how much it is, but there is a discount Tuesdays at AMC theaters. That's right. That's true. That's true. ADT has a Baby Yoda shirt. Yes, I do have my Grogu shirt. All right, folks, we do have a few things to go through, so I guess we should get started. Let's do some videos. Senator Bernard Sanders.
It is no secret to the people of the state of Vermont that climate change is an existential threat not only to our state and country, but to the entire planet. Just within the last few days, everybody knows, we have been breathing the dangerous air coming from the unprecedented forest fires in Quebec. As we speak, right now, this minute, there is a horrific heat wave in Texas, other states in this country. And clearly climate change is not just a threat to the United States. The entire world is warming, the ice caps are melting, and oceans are becoming warmer every day.
True.
That is the reality.
Right, like this is not up for debate. This is not debatable. What he's stating there is completely true, and we continue to reach all kinds of new levels as we just hit the Earth's hottest day on record. We just broke that again since we started recording. Definitely want to stay at home. Food is cheaper and bathrooms are easier than movie theaters. Yeah, 100%. 100%. You'd be much more comfortable at home. And furthermore, yeah, food is much cheaper. To just make something at home rather than spend that at the concession stand. I mean, I just can't get over how expensive that is. $27. That's just too much for me.
And whether people want to face it or not, that is what is going on in this planet today. And if we do not get our act together and transform our energy system away from fossil fuels into sustainable energies and energy efficiency, it is really quite questionable the quality of life that our kids and grandchildren will be having, not only in this country, but all over the world. Which brings us to why we are here today. I am very proud to have worked for a number of years on a program which was passed as part of the Inflation Reduction Act, which will provide $7 billion into Vermont and every state in this country to make it much, much easier for working families to be able to install solar panels on their rooftop. In Vermont and around the country, we are seeing more and more people install solar panels, and that's a good thing. Problem is, if you're a lower income person, it is hard to do that. Why is that? Because of the initial cost. So what we are saying today to every working family, middle income family, lower income family, what this program is about is helping you with that initial cost, whatever it may be. What does that mean? What it means is that there will either be a grant or a loan going to a middle income or working class or lower income family to help you buy the solar panels. And once you have the solar panels, your electric bill will be reduced on average, in Vermont at least, but all over the country, by 80 or 90%. Got that? And as part of this program, you are not going to pay a nickel more for your electric bill for however long it takes to pay off that loan. So this is an important program.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that it is important to have, governmental programs to incentivize solar, because if you've looked into the initial cost of solar, it is very expensive especially for like working class people. Certainly we tried to look into it, but I don't think we're even ready for that just yet. It is very expensive. Did you see that? Did you hear how Anna from TYT went on some right wing show? I mean, she oh boy. I try to avoid this drama. A lot of people are covering it, but yeah, it's been quite the roller coaster. It's been quite the roller coaster watching what's been happening at TYT, particularly with like Anna and Cenk. All I can say is like it's super, super disappointing, and it's pretty disheartening considering like how big TYT is, and how much influence they have, and how much, quote unquote power they have that they can be using for good, and instead we're having all of this discourse now. I mean, like, for all intents and purposes, like, she basically went on, forget what show it was, and basically like did why I left the left meme. But it's whatever. If you want like a good synopsis, here.
Criticizing that.
If you want a good synopsis, just like watch watch Benny's video. Here. She's gone full capitalism. Yeah, but like it doesn't make sense. Like the thing is, like, some people are like, oh, is this just like a grift for like more money? But like TYT is huge. TYT is huge. I just don't get it. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. It makes me mad. Yeah, and it should. Antarctic growth up to the end of June. Their winter's the lowest amount on record by the area of UK. Yikes. Two bags of popcorn for yeah, for for a 2-pound bag of popcorn is much cheaper. Whereas soda. I don't trust TYT. I mean, like, yeah, I think at this point, like, it's abundantly clear where they stand, and yeah. Ah, Jesus.
Young Turk's Anna Kasparian is catching heat for saying she has left the left.
I'm going through something very real and very sincere, and it's uncomfortable, and it has not been an enjoyable process for me. It's been difficult. And so...
Oh, God. Okay, so first of all, like, I don't really like Hill Rising. Not really a fan of Brianna Joy Gray. But yeah, this is the clip that I was talking about. These two are cringe as fuck. By the way, I don't know if like, I don't know if you've watched a lot of these clips. But these two are cringe as fuck.
The internet being what it is, all sorts of people from all sorts of political ideologies have theories on like what's actually happening with me, right? And the main accusation, both from the left and the right, is that I'm grifting, which is hilarious because literally nothing has changed about my work life. I'm in the same place. I have the same audience. The audience doesn't like.
Well, that's not necessarily 100% though, is it? Like, you're getting massive pushback. You're getting massive pushback. Just because the audience is still, like, well, I mean, a sizable audience is still with you, does not mean they agree with you. Does that make sense? But yeah, I don't know if necessarily this is a grift. I don't know. I don't think so. I think she's just genuinely, she's just genuinely like this.
Like some of what I have to say or some of the new conclusions I've come to. And so I wanted to kind of set the record straight about what I have personally experienced. I don't know what my political labels are at this point, right? Because I feel like I don't really fit anywhere. And that's just full honesty. It's, again, very uncomfortable for me. And I want to say that out of any point in my adult life, this is probably the point where I'm the most malleable and open to new.
The most malleable? Okay, like, the point being is, she's in a new tax bracket with a new attitude. Exactly. Yeah, like, the point being is that you can have, you can have an open mind in terms of like changing the ability to change your mind based on new information, right? Like, that's incredibly important as a human being. The ability to have the ability to be able to change your mind based on new facts, Okay, based on new facts. Like, this is as hyperbolic as it gets. But obviously, if you're some type of like, I don't know, like flat earther, and you're presented with like irrefutable evidence that obviously the earth is not flat, at that point, like you should be malleable in that sense, because you've been presented some pretty substantiated information that your worldview is wrong. Okay? But the opposite is happening here. The exact opposite. She's being presented with pushback that is being substantiated, and she refuses to change her worldview. It's the opposite is happening. So she's actually not malleable. She's actually digging her heels. If the earth was flat, cats would have already pushed everything off it by now. True. Dr. Richie should really get the GTFO, join the leftist mafia. Hey, listen, I'm trying to get a spot, okay? I want to be on the leftist mafia. And, oh look, they brought up Benny's post, which is where I saw the video.
This comes after a transgender producer employed by the Young Turks posted a video sharing that they are...
Is Benny a producer on the show? I don't think she is. Or I don't think she was. I thought she was like a contributor. I thought she just had her own like I thought that she just had her own or her own section. You know, like it was called Galaxy Brain. But I don't know if she was a producer. Walter, how's it going? Yellow King with the tier 1 sub for 31 months. Jeez. You're a couple months away from 3 years. Right? 12 times. Yeah, about 36 would be 3 years. Right? Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate it.
Leaving the network over what they say is Kasparian and co-host Cenk Uyghur's complicity in anti-LGBTQ sentiment.
Friend of the show, Alayami Olerin, weighed in on the drama. She actually popped in on a live stream.
Yeah, and like the leftist mafia also had a whole section on this for her original take, which was completely unnecessary, in my opinion. Like the most innocuous, like non-problem there is turned into a whole discourse. Turned into a whole cycle of discourse, and I'm not bringing that shit up. But yeah, you rock. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Of a YouTube show called The Vanguard Boys to offer her perspective as they were covering the Anna Kasparian commentary, and basically expressed some frustration that despite trying to stay out of it, she recently went on Young Turks to very patiently try to push back against some of the takes that they've had with respect to criminal justice issues.
Yeah, like the weird unhoused take that was who boy. I mean, and it's not new either. It's not new either. That's the frustrating part.
He, as a public defender, has a lot of expertise in that area and a very distinct position that was different from theirs. And she has been tried to like have constructive conversations in her view and been very cordial and polite to them. And still, she gets a lot of pushback of a less cordial nature, I think is how she would describe it. And so there was some frustration that she expressed that even though everyone has kind of gone out of their way to try to be patient with Anna Kasparian. And
yeah, like that's kind of it. Like, are there going to be people, and were there people that were like berating her and whatnot? Yeah, but there was a lot of people, including her own allies, or including her own friends, including her own like tangential circle, people like the folks on the leftist mafia, Dave Dole. I think even Matt Binder. There's a lot of people that were within her circle, within her sphere, whatever you orbit. That's the online term I'm looking for. There was a lot of people within her orbit that were telling her in very, I think, very calm, very rational, in a very calm and rational manner, where she went wrong. And if she was really that malleable, by what malleable she means is open-minded, then maybe the criticisms from the closest people in her orbit have been saying, maybe that's something to take into consideration. But that's just my opinion. Yeah, questioning of the TYT is not allowed.
And to give her a lot of grace as a member of the community, that there's some frustration with how she's characterizing how she's being treated by the left. Whether or not you want to call it a grift or what have you.
What does grift even mean at this point? I would use that word to describe someone, I guess, who I suspect is insincerely pretending to change their beliefs for more clout or to reach a bigger audience or different.
I mean, that's the thing. That a grift is just simply espousing any belief, whether it is a belief that you believed a month ago and now you don't, or vice versa, or a belief that you never had before. It doesn't really matter. A grift is expressing a belief, whatever that belief may be, for money. So to vaguely suggest that you don't even know what that word means, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. I don't know who this guy is, but Robbie or Nepo baby, you should know exactly what that means.
Different audience. Maybe that applies to certain figures who are ostensibly progressive, and now, they still say they're progressive, but they're, mostly talking about right-wing stuff, or where they happen to agree with the right wing, maybe on trans issues or COVID or something. I don't know. I frankly don't know if this applies to Anna. It sounds like maybe.
I don't think that Anna is grifting. I think that she genuinely just is this way.
Maybe she's sincerely changed her mind. I mean, she's consciously saying, I don't really associate myself with all leftist views anymore. Maybe she, I don't know, I've changed. I haven't significantly changed, I don't think, any of the policies I really support over the last few years, but living in a city as crime has gotten worse made me rethink, again, not like fundamentally change my outlook on criminal justice reform, but made me a little bit more inclined to go, well, maybe there's something that needs to be confronted here.
Bro, shut up. Dude, you're going to tell me that you are going to support policies that would actually reduce crime? You're going to tell me that you're going to support policies that would actually help reform the criminal justice system? Doubt it.
Is that it's not a grift. It's just like the experience of life. I hadn't really thought about vaccine mandates very hard for most of my life, where I would have said you should have them for schools.
I'll tell you
and now I've thought about it. Now I have a radically different view on it.
Specifically, the argument.
What? Wait. So you used to have a view of that vaccine mandates were okay in schools, but now you just don't want vaccine mandates at all? Okay, dude. Oh, man. Jenk is now Tim Pool minus the beanie. Maybe.
About it being a grift is this. Anna has demonstrated a really competent understanding of why it is that the left, many people on the left, think it's perfectly reasonable and even good to respect people's pronouns, to use language that acknowledges what many in the mainstream and on the right characterize as goofy, if not harmful things.
I mean, it's just like, are you just saying that like the left just has like a basic respect for humans? Is that what you're saying? I mean, like, what does that say about the right? Wow. Whew. Oh boy. Anyways, I mean, I think the TLDR is pretty much understood here.
Things like the phrase birthing people, or the most recent controversy is referring to trans men as having bonus holes instead of vaginas because of their dysmorphia. And
Can't.
Yeah, okay. Okay. How long until we're gonna be hearing Anna's Why Left the Left story? Oh, we just went over it. We just went over it. You missed it. Oh, man.
Fully amped.
Ah. It was a like not a outwardly
Sorry.
not outwardly why I left the left, but like, I mean, for all intents and purposes, she said something to the effect of like, yeah, I don't even know what to label myself anymore. I'm politically like not anything. I don't align with anything, I think is what she said. You know, whatever. Here, just listen to her.
Political labels are at this point, right? Because changed about my work life. I'm in the same place. I have the same audience. The audience doesn't like some of what I have to say or some of the new conclusions I've come to. And so I wanted to kind of set the record straight about what I have personally experienced. I don't know what my political labels are at this point, right? Because I feel like I don't really fit anywhere. And
Yeah, so basically, like, that's what she's getting at. I can already tell, like, this guy is insufferable. I don't like this guy.
done by addressing the root causes of the crime, right? And Anna knows that. So to know that, to have said that, to have about, the whole question is whether or not we can. Some people make that argument and they don't know better. The left, what it is for all of that time, on that particular issue. And after years, language. And now, without any real reckoning with that previous clip that's gone viral many times now, healthcare they need, it's hard for me to see why anyone would have a problem. Be accommodating or kind to those people.
Sorry.
You know, Anna in the past, and I don't know if we have this clip, has articulated very clearly why, if you want to be accommodating or kind to those people, you can think dysmorphia is mental illness and characterize it however you want, but if you acknowledge that they obviously are having some dissonance with the way they were born versus how they feel that they are in a clinical setting, using language that is enabling them to get the health care they need, it's hard for me to see why anyone would have a problem with that. And Anna Kasparian has articulated that exact belief within like the last year, arguing against conservatives who would reject that kind of language. And now, without any real reckoning with that previous clip that's gone viral many times now.
Like, here's the TLDR. I don't understand, like, why people can't just, like, be respectful and acknowledge people's, like, existence and how they want to live. It just doesn't make any sense to me. And, like, by her own characterization, she basically said that the left has this tendency to just be respectful human beings, and treat people like people. I mean, like, that's basically what Briahna Joy Gray just said. What does that tell you about the right? That's it. Cenk was never really on the left by his own admission. True. Anyways, I think, like, we can get the gist of what's going on over here.
From both an environmental perspective, it's an important program from an economic perspective in terms of making sure that working class people in Vermont and around this country can get electricity at an affordable cost.
Based Bernard. I mean, like, TLDR, yeah, we definitely need more government incentives to facilitate the use of solar. Because as I was saying, like, solar is incredibly expensive as a, you know, if you're working class. And It's not really that accessible, but it should be. But it should be. Hello, person that has been banned in quite the amount of channels. More government. I don't know what that means. How long do you think you're gonna last here? I mean, if you think you're gonna come in here and troll, I suggest maybe just for your sake, just go somewhere else.
Here's a question from Cheryl Lamoth, 2866. Cheryl Lamoth says, "Hey, Farrod, once again, Jack Smith's January 6th investigation has started to heat up. Would you predict an indictment on Trump in this investigation before the start of 2024? Yes, 100%. Trump will be indicted again by Jack Smith and his grand jury prior to the year 2024.
I guess like the question is like what the charges are going to be like. And again, the important case, one of the most important cases is that election interference case and the January 6th case. That's really the important cases that I want to see some accountability there.
Now, when that indictment might come is a different story. Now, I'm hoping, again, recording all of these in advance, I hope I'm not sitting here saying this and the indictment happened yesterday and everybody's like, Farron, you're an idiot. I'm on vacation, okay? They're pre-recording a bunch of questions that I'm answering.
What if it never happens? That's another question. What if there never is any accountability at the end of the day? Who knows?
Because I can't predict the news for next week. I love how I just made a made-up scenario in my head and then I had to defend it. That was weird. But anyway, I do believe, based on the movement we have seen from Jack Smith in recent weeks, you know, he's got Rudy Giuliani coming to talk to him. He went down and he talked to Brad Raffensperger. You got Secret Service agents that are testifying. He's inked out immunity deals with a couple of the fake electors. Things are moving super rapidly now.
That's a big one. The fact that this dude is talking to the fake electors, which again, I would like to remind people how in a rational scenario do we find ourselves in a situation where a political party, the Republican Party, has created schemes in multiple states to overturn the election in 2020. And this isn't like the biggest news in terms of electoral politics. I mean, this should be talked about. This should be talked about wall-to-wall coverage type deal. Hey, Conscious Canuck, how's it going? This should be talked about wall-to-wall coverage, and all of these people, all of them who are involved in these schemes, should be held to account. Should be held to account. All of them, from the people who became the fake electors to the people who organized the schemes, all of them.
And I have to think that part of that is because he's already concluded one investigation because they saddled him with two completely different, unrelated investigations. And now that this one's done, the documents, waiting trial, now it can be like, okay, I'm going to actually be able to focus on this one now. I don't know why you didn't appoint two special prosecutors, but I guess I got to do everything. That's my Jack Smith impression. Yeah, he's got to be a little overworked at this point. But the people they're talking to, the movements they're making, legal experts, former officials with the Department of Justice, former U.S. attorneys, even those appointed by Trump are like, oh yeah, this dude's going to get indicted again. All of the signs are there. And that's just the Jack Smith investigation, right? Like this obviously is the biggest one. You know, this attempting to overturn the United States election,
yeah, that's
as
massive.
Lawrence Tribe said, possibly charges on conspiracy to overthrow the government of the United States.
Like that's huge. The fact that like the fact that this dude the fact that this dude attempted, along with the Republican Party, to overturn the election and had the gall to say that it was the Democratic Party, the ones that were, messing or rigging the election, is just wild. It's just wild. That's true. Trump has been having a meltdown since 2021. Yeah, since he lost.
More likely, I think, conspiracy to defraud the government of the United States. But either way, that's the big one. But we also have a pretty significant one happening in Georgia. And we've already been promised indictments, not against Donald Trump necessarily, but we've been promised that indictments are coming by the end of summer. So by the time 2024 rolls around, by the time Republicans are starting to head to the polls for their primary to vote for whatever bigot hypocrite they want, Trump will likely be indicted 2 more times before any of that happens.
And they will still vote for him. And they will still vote for him. And as of right now, he still has a chance of winning the presidency. As of right now. Thank the divine, a Trump meltdown doesn't expel ionizing radiation within Florida would be a nuclear wasteland glowing bright orange. That's hilarious.
And then we play the waiting game, right? Because we don't know when those trials are going to happen. I mean, we could be a year away from trials. He's got the Manhattan one coming up in December. You know, there's no telling how many delays his documents case is going to get. Then, of course, after both of those conclude, maybe we'll go to Georgia for that trial. Maybe it'll be the other federal trial. We don't know. There could be a lot of trials next year for Donald Trump. But either way, just to answer your question as succinctly as possible, do I think Trump's getting indicted again this year? 99.9% sure that yes, Trump is not only getting indicted again, he's getting indicted again twice. Hey everyone, this is Aspen.
All right, Aspen, I know, cute. I mean, we'll see. In any rational world, yeah, this dude would be cooked. But who knows? The radical left investigations of me now, federal, state, and city. What? He's being investigated in the city level? What? Our scam and continuation of tightly coordinated with each jurisdiction and run by the now fully exposed as being corrupt and shameless DOJ and FBI. The Boxes hoax where I come under the Non-Criminal Presidential Records Act and I've done nothing wrong has exposed Biden, who is not protected by the Presidential Records, whatever the heck, Act, because he was not president. He has literally thousands of boxes. He does not have thousands of boxes. Like, again, the difference is there's a lot of people that were caught with, like, secret documents, but you know what all of them did? They immediately turned them over. Mike Pence had secret documents. He didn't try to hide and then obstruct that investigation. He just gave them back. Like, all of this would have never even been a story if the dude would have just, like, cooperated and gave everything back. That's it. Like, he could have literally just played it off and said, my bad, I didn't know. I didn't know I had all of these here. They came in with the boxes, I thought I was moving out, or whatever. I didn't know that these were here, and they just, like, returned them immediately. That's it. And this would have never been a story. Ah, yes, the radical leftist DOJ run by the famous Antifa leader Merrick Garland. True. Donald and the John Box's Rainbow parody, Randy Rainbow parody song. Oh, is that the parody song? Well, maybe if we have time, we can play it later. The main reason Trump is getting indicted now instead of earlier is only because of DOJ's lack of judicial fortitude and absence of a sense of duty to the country. True. They were too busy seeing what the optics are with regards to indicting a former president. Fuck that. If you have enough evidence that somebody did a crime, it shouldn't matter, right? It shouldn't matter if they were a former president or not, or whatever party or they belong to. It doesn't matter. All right, so that's just kind of a prelude to set the stage for this. Yeah, maybe Trump should have just complied. Exactly. Law and order. Unironically, though, if he would have just given the documents back, this would have never been a story. Well, then respectfully, he's not the only one who should be in the chopping block. He's not, though. And I mean government officials in general. Yeah, part of his administration. Didn't another one of his aides get indicted too? He was part of the government. He was part of his presidential aides or whatever that they have. And I mean government officials in general, not just a figurehead of the country. I mean, like, did you know that other people are also being indicted? What about the witnesses that are being what about the witnesses that participated in this that are being drafted immunity deals? I mean, like, I don't know, man. I'm not very informed. Then let me stop you right there. If you are not very informed, then why would you say something like that? Why not ask, or why not Google it? Like, this is like what I don't understand. Why if you say that you're not informed, that's fine. But why not take 5 seconds to then inform yourself or ask? Instead of firing away at by making a comment that you don't even have an idea of what you're talking about. It makes no sense. They're all taking deals to flip on Trump. Exactly. Like, that's exactly correct. So all of these governmental officials and people within that circle are cutting deals. Are cutting deals because then they would be on that proverbial chopping block. PosadaBot is deleting PosadaBots. Whoa. Okay. I only have YouTubers and streamers. Pieces I don't know names. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. The issue isn't ignorance. The issue is like not having the issue is not like ignorance or not knowing. That's fine. There's a billion different things that I have no idea about. But yeah. Trump has spies at Mar-a-Lago. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, indeed. The bot is eating itself. Did you see that? Did you see that? The bot just like ate its own message. Trump got tired of winning after 2016. True. U.S. investigators zone in on Trump election plot lawyer John Eastman. John Eastman, who was at the vanguard of lawyers plotting schemes involving, quote, fake electors and other ploys to help Trump thwart Biden's win in 2020, is now under close scrutiny in federal and state investigations of Trump's drives to stay in power and faces possible disbarment in California. So here's another example of the proverbial chopping block. The former California law professor is one of the several lawyers whose legal stragglers have been heavily examined by the special counsel, accelerating investigations into Trump and his allies' efforts to block Biden from taking office. That's funny. I like that that emo. The fake elector scheme was a central part of Trump's strategy to reverse his defeat. I mean, like, think about that. That is wild. Again, why is this not like the biggest story? Why is this not the biggest story? This should be back to back. A wall-to-wall coverage, I should say. Can you imagine if the Democratic Party did something like this? Can you imagine? We would never hear the end of it. We would never hear the end of it. It was called that because Republican electors in 7 key battleground states signed certificates falsely declaring themselves duly elected and qualified to affirm Trump won the 2020 election. Again, this is why I say that the Republican Party coordinated in several states to do this. This wasn't just one. This isn't just one person. All these political issues are interesting, but I wonder when will the U.S. confess to its foreign policy crime for 80 years the U.S. terrorized the world? When do you think the U.S. will have to bear the consequences? Probably never. Yeah, I know that the U.S. has done a lot of messed up stuff. Ex-Don Jr.'s girlfriend admitted to Donnie Jr. that Donnie Jr. was at a gay sex club when they no longer have the strongest military. Even then, do you think that there's going to be any accountability or any reckoning? Probably not. I'm be honest, probably not. Yeah, exactly. America admitting to war crimes? Never. Yeah, I don't think so. And the world reserve currency? No, man. I mean, if we lose our status as like the, biggest chunk of the reserve currency, I think that we'll just use all our military to infinitely spread democracy across the planet, if you catch my drift. But Eastman has drawn scrutiny too in an overlapping inquiry in Georgia by Fulton. County District Attorney Fani Willis was expected to bring criminal charges in August against Trump and some of his legal gurus. Well, we don't know if it's Trump, but definitely indictments are coming according to her statement. Someone leaked Don Jr.'s Grindr profile. The federal and Georgia inquiries have zeroed in on Trump legal advisors, including Rudy Giuliani, who has helped oversee the fake elector plot, and ex-Justice Department official Jeffrey Clark, who was again... who again is on this proverbial chopping block, was the acting Department of Justice person. I did see a YouTube short saying all the countries were going to pick a day to completely disavow and no longer use the U.S. dollar. I mean, I don't think they can. I know that there's like a movement that's attempting to catch traction. But I don't know if it's enough. I don't know if it's enough to knock the dollar off the top spot. Trump tried briefly to elevate Clark to Attorney General in order to prod Georgia and several other swing states to substitute fake Trump electors for the ones that Biden actually won. Right, I think he the specific scheme in this instance was that he wanted Jeffrey Clark to be acting Department of Justice, whatever, director or something like that, like a face of the Department of Justice. And whether or not he was correct, whether or not it was within his power, he wanted to publicly have this guy question the results or question the legitimacy of the election. Because if a higher up member of the Department of Justice questions whether or not it's true or whether or not they even have that power, it's just the illusion, the perception that the election is being questioned, or there's a double take by the Department of Justice as to whether or not this election is true or not. That's enough. That's what they wanted. That plausible kind of like gray area that they wanted to introduce to the public. Smith's inquiry, which encompassed Trump's inflammatory talk to a rally that Eastman and Giuliani also addressed before the Capitol insurrection on January 6, has accelerated with grand jury testimony from former Vice President Mike Pence and ex-Chief of Staff Mark Meadows. Smith also gained cooperation from 2 Nevada fake electors who have testified before a Washington grand jury. Moreover, investigators from Smith's office interviewed Giuliani under a proffer arrangement, which does not preclude charges against him, seeking to ferret out details about the fake elector plot and related schemes. The New York Times reported. Former DOJ prosecutors say Smith's inquiry is making notable progress. The pace of activity in the special counsel's investigation into this fake elector scheme seems to be quickening, with significant cooperation from key witnesses and a focus on Trump's top legal advisors, former DOJ prosecutor Michael Zeldin told The Guardian. Other ex-prosecutors also see Smith's inquiry gaining steam. By obtaining testimony from fake electors, Smith may be better able to nail down what information and advice passed between these soldiers in the larger scheme and those Trump lawyers who helped concoct it, said Dan Richmond, a law professor at Columbia and ex-prosecutor in New York. Testimony that say electors were advised to make false statements or given deliberately misleading advice would go far to show a deliberate fraud by Trump's brain trust of lawyers, including Eastman. Richmond added Giuliani's willingness to give a proffer likely reflects his desire to avoid charges by showing a lack of intent to defraud. Smith's readiness to accept the proffer likely reflects his interest in hearing what Giuliani has to say and avoiding a grand jury proceeding at which Giuliani might well invoke his Fifth Amendment privilege. Other DOJ veterans see Meadows' grand jury testimony as significant. The cooperation of Meadows has the potential to help put a stake in the heart of Trump and other high-level insurrectionists. True, said Paul Pelletier, a former acting head of DOJ's fraud section. Smith, who was tapped as special counsel last November, and others at the Justice Department have spent months conducting their sprawling inquiry into Trump's zealous efforts to cling to power and his coterie of legal advisors. Last summer, federal agents seized the cell phones of Eastman and Clark, whose home was also raided. A harbinger of the potential legal headaches for Trump and his elite lawyers came last year when a House panel spent months investigating Trump and the January 6th insurrection and produced a 845-page report referred Trump to the DOJ for prosecution, plus Eastman, Giuliani, Clark, and lawyer Kenneth Chesebro. The referrals did not mandate DOJ action, but provided substantial evidence against Trump and those lawyers. Trump makes Sleepy Joe seem way cooler than he is. True. I mean, like, here's the thing, Jack. the point being is that this guy, like, think about all the stuff that he's done and the party that he's representing and how undemocratic they've been acting. And I don't know, I don't just mean on like, you know, like the normal undemocratic notions that have always been here, but I'm talking about like, this is a step and beyond, okay? To actually attempt to overturn elections in this manner, to actually encourage and incite insurrectionary behavior is on a whole other level. The fact that he's continuing to prime the pump and say that the election was rigged till this day, okay? Even as he runs now, again, it is just too much. It's just too much. It's not just productive, it's quite dangerous if you ask me. Donald Trump insanely accuses President Biden and Special Counsel Smith of doing cocaine after a small amount of the drug. Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. Who has been credibly accused of habitually snorting Adderall, asked if anyone can really believe the cocaine belonged to anyone other than Hunter and Joe Biden. It should be noted that Trump's own son, Don Jr., has frequently displayed symptoms. I mean, honestly, it's probably like, if it came out that this like cocaine that was found at the White House was Hunter Biden's, would that really be a surprise to anybody? Probably not. The panel's referral accused Trump of criminally engaging in a multi-part conspiracy, citing 4 specific crimes that seem to track what Special Counsel Smith is looking into: making false statements, obstruction of an official proceeding, conspiracy to defraud the United States, and aiding or comforting insurrection, all of which were referred to the DOJ for prosecution. All four lawyers were fervor conspiring to defraud the United States, except for Giuliani. The others citing for conspiring to obstruct an official proceeding, referring to Congress certifying Biden's win on January 6th. The panel noted that when Eastman addressed the Stop the Steal rally on January 6th, he floated a wild conspiracy theory about secret folders and voting machines that were used to cast votes for Democrats, as he was arranging an illegal scheme to overturn the election. I don't believe anything till the facts come out of the investigation, as information is not always accurate and sometimes just sensational to me. I mean, like, this is, just to be clear, this isn't based on sensationalized information. The only reason all of this is happening, is because of the facts, is because of the congressional investigation, is because of the communications that were obtained by Eastman and all of these lawyers. I mean, the fake electors themselves have admitted by default, because they're cutting deals. So yeah, this isn't like, just to be clear, this isn't sensationalized in any way, shape, or form. Not this story. The cocaine thing, I'll remember to include what I'm referring to in the future. Oh, the cocaine thing? Yeah, who knows? Honestly, that's the least of like, that's the least. That's like a meme story. I've got it queued up because it's just a meme story. Honestly, it's a nothing. But does anybody actually give a shit that like cocaine was found in the White House? No. Okay, it's a good meme. All right, that's the only reason we're going over it. The report also discussed a coup memo authored by Eastman, which proposed avenues Pence could use to assist Trump in reversing his election loss, including unilaterally throwing out certain state electoral college votes. At House panel hearings, Pence's then counsel Greg Jacob testified that Eastman acknowledged to him that his push with Trump to get Pence to reject Biden's winning electoral college count would violate the Electoral Count Act that Trump too was informed that if Pence tried to block Biden's certification, it would be illegal. This June, Jacob testified at California bar hearings weighing the disbarment of Eastman for making false public statements about voter fraud in the 2020 election and misleading courts. At the hearing, Jacob charged that Eastman's advice to Pence brought our profession into disrepute. Eastman has denied breaking any laws, stating that he was engaged in good faith advocacy on a legal question that was not settled. But it was. But it was. Okay. Eastman has denied breaking any laws. Oh, yeah, whatever. Trump and other lawyers referred to the DOJ prosecution have also denied violating any laws. But ex-federal prosecutor Paul Rosenweig said that he doubted Eastman will escape prosecution completely. It would be surprising indeed if neither of those investigations ended in a criminal charge against Eastman as well as possibly other lawyers and Trump himself. I'm taking mental words with you. With the info, you're so good that it's easy to learn from you and the way to deliver information. Well, that's good to know. I'm glad. It's probably Hunter School when he visits. It's true. It'd be a miracle if Trump could shut up and stop truthing for even 3 months. I mean, like, if he just like doesn't truth for the remaining like period, like really, it would be a miracle. Only at an entrance point where visitors turn out their pockets. Yeah, I mean, honestly, who cares? Who cares, you know, who that Coke belonged to? It remains to be seen whether the false elector scheme will serve as a basis of a standalone indictment or whether it will be merged into a broader case involving the multiple ways Trump and his allies attempted to reverse the outcome of the election. A standalone case may have less jury appeal than a case in which it is one of the many sets and tactics used to overturn the election, he added, but noted that the broader case will be almost inevitably longer, more complex, including numerous defendants, and more difficult to try. Any new federal charges against Trump would come on top of the 37-count indictment of Trump by Smith for retaining hundreds of classified and national security documents after he left office and obstructing investigators seeking to retrieve them. Trump has pled not guilty and denounced the charges and other probes as, quote, witch hunts. Still, the Georgia inquiry into efforts to overturn Biden's win there seems to likely to create more headaches for Trump and some of his legal advisors. Willis has indicated that Giuliani, who testified after receiving a subpoena before a grand jury, is a target of her broad inquiry. Eastman said was reportedly advised by his own lawyer that he was probably a target and invoked the Fifth Amendment when subpoenaed to testify. Willis has said that she will announce charging decisions in August, and experts say the Georgia inquiry looks poised to include criminal charges against Trump and some elite lawyers. Lawyers have a professional responsibility to tell the truth, and they may face legal liability when they don't, said former U.S. Attorney in Georgia, Michael Moore. In the Georgia investigation, the intentional perpetration of a fraud, if borne out by the investigation, may land them in hot water. All indications are that the DA is looking at some lawyers as directors, not just as bit players in the story of attempted election fraud. Nice. We shall see. Earth's hottest day ever was recorded July 3rd, 2 days ago. The hottest day on Earth happened in July 3rd of 2023. The average global temperature reached 62.62 degrees Fahrenheit. The average global air temperature was recorded 2 meters above the Earth's surface with data compiled by the National NOAA and the University of Maine. The old record was held in 2016 at 62.4 4 degrees. In July of 2022 and August of 2016. That was the previous record. That's not that long ago. That's not that long ago. The previous record for Earth's hottest day was set in July of 2022 and August of 2016 when the global temperature reached 62.46 degrees. The rise in global temperature is likely due to recent heat waves in the US and Canada and Europe and El Nino. During El Nino conditions, sea surface temperatures rise above average in the Pacific Ocean. NOAA/Maine global temperature data goes back to 1979, but researchers say these temperature readings are comparable with the data that goes back even further. They're confident this is the highest global temperature since instrumental measurements began around the 1850s. Yikes. Judgment-free zone with 100 biddies and a subscription with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. I appreciate the support. Yeah, this is not good, folks. We just keep breaking records, and the records are keep being broken in very short periods of time. 2016, 2022, 2023. Not not exactly good. Not exactly good. Not what you want to read when it comes to the climate crisis. All right, folks. Let's do a quick meme article. Let's do the White House cocaine article. But before we do that, if you guys have a second, head on over to the YouTube channel and hit the big red subscribe button. It really does help us out. We're at 242 subscribers. So it really would help us if you just click that big red subscribe button. You don't gotta do anything else. Just to kind of keep it there. In case anything happens to the Twitch channel. It would help us out. All right. Meme article. Suspicious powder was actually cocaine. The White House was briefly evacuated Sunday evening while President Biden was at Camp David after the Secret Service discovered suspicious powder in a common area of the West Wing, and a preliminary test showed the substance was coke, said 2 law enforcement officers. Secret Service agents were doing routine rounds on Sunday when they found the white powder in an area accessible to tour groups, not in any particular West Wing office. So wait a minute, this could have just been a tourist who decided to do like a line in the West Wing. But whatever. The official said the officials were not authorized to discuss an ongoing investigation and spoke to the Associated Press on condition of anonymity. The complex was evacuated at 8:45 p.m. on Sunday as fire and emergency crews were brought in to do a rapid test, which preliminarily identified cocaine. The White House was soon reopened and the powder was sent for further testing. Biden and his family left for Camp David on Friday and returned to the White House on Tuesday. I mean, it is the White House, true. True. Marjorie Taylor Greene will demand answers from the DEA. The Secret Service said in a statement that the White House was closed as a precaution as emergency crews investigated, and that the D.C. Fire Department is called in to evaluate and determine that the substance was not hazardous. The item was then was sent for further evaluation and investigation into the cause and manner of how it entered the White House is pending. I mean, like, it wouldn't be out of, I guess, like, you know, Occam's razor. This, if they're saying that this was in a tourist accessible area, I mean, like, it couldn't exactly be out of pocket if, like, I don't know, some person wanted to do a line in the West Wing, and just forgot, maybe, I don't know, or didn't want to have the evidence on them as they maybe exited or entered other areas. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's just funny. Was it good coke? It's on the White House grounds. Well, that depends. If it's good, if it's clean, then maybe I would lean towards it's more of a possibility that belongs to Hunter Biden. You know, someone with the means to actually obtain clean cocaine. Would Donnie Jr. like it? Probably. Wouldn't be surprising, but yeah, no, I don't think it's his. I do not think it's his. It just makes sense that it might have been some tourist, to be honest. Some U.S. cities are allowing corporations to vote in local elections in hopes of stimulating the economy. Yeah, nothing could go wrong here, folks. Why would you give corporations the right to vote? This is delusional. Just 340 people voted in Seaford, Delaware's latest election, according to CBS, for a small town of 8,500 people. That's a voter turnout of 4%. Then you should focus on like getting people to vote instead of allowing corporations to act as individuals. That's just a thought. A new bill not being considered in the small town, however, could help increase those numbers. Seaford's town leaders want to give corporations based there the right to vote. In April, Seaford Mayor David Crenshaw cast a tie-breaking city council vote to amend the city's charter, giving business entities ranging from small businesses to large corporations the right to vote in local elections. The bill must pass through the state's legislature on June 30th. It passed the House, and it will appear before the Senate in the next legislative session. I mean, like, that's just ludicrous. That's ludicrous. Crenshaw said he hoped giving businesses the right to vote would revitalize the Seaford community after the closure of a local factory led to years of economic gloom. Okay, but why would you give capitalism? Why would you give capitalists more, like, the business, the same powers as people to solve an issue that is capitalism anyways? That is capitalism related anyways. These are the people we're trying to attract to our community that we're asking to invest to hire. Crenshaw told WRDE, a local news station, why wouldn't we want to give them a right to vote? You can give the individual people a right to vote. Why should what you're saying and what the implication is here is that their vote matters more. That's the implication. That's the message here. You're basically saying that corporations are more important. Quote, why wouldn't we give them a right to vote? I find it hard to believe. Who wouldn't want that to happen? Literally anybody else? Why would you give corporations the right to vote? It's already bad enough that they have the ability to funnel effectively unlimited, ungodly amounts of money into politics. It's already bad enough. And now you want to give them the right to vote too? So you're basically saying that these CEOs and these board members of these corporations effectively have two votes. That's what you're saying. or that's what you're implying, because not only is the CEO or the board members, they have the ability to vote as individuals, obviously, but now the company does too. You're effectively letting them vote twice. Despite Grenshaw's confidence, resident and voting rights activists worry about corporate influence in politics are skeptical. Claire Snyder Hall, executive director of Common Cause Delaware, a voting rights watchdog group, told CNN the law puts the idea that corporations are people on steroids. Exactly. Under the 14th Amendment, corporations are considered people, and throughout U.S. history, courts have continued to grant them constitutional protections. In the 2010 Citizens United case, the Supreme Court ruled that corporations can spend unlimited funds on campaigns as long as they are not formally coordinating with the campaign itself. The ruling led to the creation of super PACs that have the ability to receive unlimited funds and independently campaign for candidates, which has raised concerns about the potentially outsized impacts of wealthy donors on the election outcomes. Which it does. Steve Ford isn't the first municipality in Delaware to pass this kind of law. Delaware is already one of the most friendly, business-friendly states in the country. It has no sales tax, no tax on intellectual property, and no corporate income tax. Jesus Christ. Corporations all over the country register and keep addresses in Delaware for these reasons. The state, which has a population of just over 1 million, will likely be home to more than 2 million registered businesses. And yet, a state with a population of 1 million has an incredible amount of power over what happens in the country, essentially. Have AI vote for all the people that decline? What's the worst that could happen? What? No, why would I want AI making decisions for people? I would not want corporations to have the right to vote. That's just a bridge too far. That's just a bridge too far for me. In places outside of C4 where similar laws have been approved, it hasn't gone over smoothly. In Newark, Delaware, one property manager in charge of several LLCs voted 31 times in a single election. Yeah, see the problem here? Forcing the town to revise the law. Why the fuck would you think that this was a good idea? A single property manager was allowed to vote 31 times because all I have to do is open up 31 LLCs, and each one of those has the ability. Each one of those give me, as a business owner, the ability to vote 31 times. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. This is why paying attention to local politics is so important. Because, like, when you see stuff like this, it is just beyond wild. This is ludicrous. It is ludicrous that you would even entertain this idea. Nobody in Delaware should be entertaining this idea. Is there anywhere else on the planet that has corporations voting in elections? It's just so asinine to me. I've actually never seen anywhere else where this is even a thing. That must be unconstitutional. No, it's not, I don't think. That's the scary part. I don't think it is. I would like to have been a bug on the wall at that meeting. Wouldn't we all? You would think it would be unconstitutional because only people should have the right, like citizens should have the right to vote. But corporations? Alright, so as you probably have already heard, there was a Supreme Court case by a Christian web designer who won the ability to essentially deny a website to gay couples. Now, the thing is, as it was found, this gay couple may not even have existed. We have a Supreme Court that is making decisions based on things that never happened. We have Trump and Republicans crying foul about voter fraud and fake shit about people voting multiple times. Meanwhile, we have that shit going on. Oh yeah, 100%. And all, rubber stamped by Republicans. Every accusation is just a confession. That's just how it is with these people. Every accusation is just a confession. When you hear these people accusing people of like, oh, voter fraud, it's usually them. Every accusation is just a confession with these people. The same-sex couple whose request for a wedding website was cited in a major case resulting in a Supreme Court decision that undercut LGBTQ rights may not actually exist. On Friday morning, the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 along ideological lines that Lori Smith, a Colorado graphic designer who wanted to create wedding websites, could choose not to make them for same-sex couples despite a state law that protected against discrimination based on sexual orientation, race, gender, and other characteristics. Smith, excuse me, a Christian who does not make wedding websites, but said that she would like to, said the Colorado law violated her First Amendment right. So, like, again, these are hypotheticals. These are hypotheticals. Why are we making Supreme Court decisions based on hypotheticals? In a major win for the religious right, the far right, the court's conservative justices all agreed. However, according to a Thursday story in the New Republic, the only inquiry Smith has ever received about potentially creating a wedding website for a gay couple apparently came from a man who said he never even sent it. According to Smith and her legal team, the Christian group Alliance Defending Freedom, that's an ironic name. A man identified as Stewart requested a wedding website in September of 2016 for his upcoming marriage to someone named Mike. When reporter Melissa Grant used that contact information provided by the plaintiffs in the court documents to contact him, there was an immediate confusion. Grant reached a man named Stewart who confirmed that the contact information used in the filing was his, but he was straight and married to a woman, not to a man named Mike. If somebody's pulled my information as some kind of supporting information or documentation, somebody's falsified that. I wouldn't want anybody to make me a wedding website. I'm married. I have a child. I'm not really sure where that came from, but somebody's using false information on a Supreme Court filing document. In a Zoom press conference following that ruling, Smith's lawyer Kirsten Wagner said the New Republic report was absolutely untrue and irrelevant to the case, but said they did not verify if the request was from an actual gay couple or a troll. So, how this even made it to the Supreme Court is beyond me. Wagner, who's the president of the ADF, said her organization did not fabricate the request, calling the allegation reprehensible and disgusting. Nah, I don't know, man. I think you did. I think you made that shit up because you knew that you had a Supreme Court that would be more favorable to you. Stewart's supposed inquiry came the day after Smith initially filed the suit. According to the New Republic, ADF did not include the information about Stewart in the initial 2016 filing, but only did so in 2017 to prove that Smith had a claim. No, it wasn't a troll. It wasn't a troll. They just made it up, if you ask my opinion. In September 2017, the U.S. District Judge Marcia Krieger dismissed parts of Smith's case, writing, assuming that it indicates a marker of plaintiff services, a market for plaintiff services. Not clear that Stewart and Mike are a same-sex couple, such as names can be used by members of both sexes. And it does not explicitly request website services without which there can be no refusal. Right. There's nothing here. Where's the standing in this case? Hey, how's it going? Welcome. 2023, more like 1984. ADF criticized Krieger's ruling in a statement, lamenting that a federal judge ruled that Smith and her studio can't sue to challenge a portion of Colorado's Anti-Discrimination Act because the request sent to Smith by a couple self-identified as Stewart and Mike isn't formal enough to prove that a same-sex couple has asked her to help them celebrate their wedding. Grant allowed that it's possible Stewart did in fact file the request and was lying to her, but ADF and Smith did not respond to her question, attempting to establish whether Stewart or Mike were even a real couple. Surely this perjury and contempt of court and is a felony punishable by jail. I mean, the Supreme Court ruled in their favor. That's what's wild about this. The ruling is a step back for the LGBTQ rights in the country. It follows a similar ideological decision last year by the court's 6-3 conservative majority that sided with the football coach who coerced prayer on the games. In a statement following the ruling, President Biden said he was deeply concerned that the decision could invite more discrimination against LGBTQI plus Americans. More broadly, today's decision weakens long-standing laws that protect all Americans against discrimination in public accommodations, including people of color, people with disabilities, people of faith, and women. In her dissent, Liberal Justice Sotomayor wrote, "Today the court, for the first time in its history, grants a business open to the public a constitutional right to refuse to serve members of a protected class. The Human Rights Campaign called it a dangerous step backward and gives some businesses the license to discriminate." Amid record low approval and bipartisan support for reform, the court closed out its session this week with rulings against affirmative action and President Biden's student loan debt relief plan. That was axed by the Supreme Court, and from what I understand, the Biden administration is going to try something else. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, basically, the Supreme Court has essentially said that when it comes to certain things like art, I guess, you can discriminate. Essentially, you legally can discriminate. That's super messed up, and all based on a situation that never happened. On hypotheticals, there was no damages done. This was on a person who wanted to make wedding websites. Not that they are making wedding websites. Who wanted to. And then it turns out that the same-sex couple that was cited in this case never existed. No racist can read my books. Nice. Aren't some risks mitigated by possible scenarios? No, you can't make court decisions on possible scenarios or hypotheticals. The reason why you're in court is to prove damages, right? That it's called standing. It's called standing, right? You have to here, let me bring up the definition. The concept of standing broadly refers to a litigant's right to have a court rule upon the merits of a particular claim for which he seeks judicial relief. Another way of putting it, in simple terms, the court's using standing to ask, does this party have a dog in this fight? They don't, because this never happened. Standing limits participation in lawsuits and asks whether a person bringing lawsuit or defending one has enough cause to stand before the court and advocate since not anyone can go to court for any reason. Essentially, you are now saying that, the Supreme Court is now saying that you can basically make up stuff based on, you can literally make rulings on what ifs. But that's not how this should work. That's not how this should work at all. Wait until Christians start getting denied service. 100%. Absolutely. If you're a website developer, coder, anything like that, absolutely. I would say you absolutely should discriminate against Christians. You shouldn't make websites for them. If you own some type of service that maybe perhaps manages or has like some type of content management system for Christian websites, I don't know, maybe you shouldn't service them. Maybe you shouldn't service them. The Supreme Court is completely off base here. Talk about like way to torpedo any semblance of respectability that they had. This is completely egregious, to say the least. Maybe if they didn't shove their religion down everyone's throat, yeah, and try to literally have the Supreme Court legalize discrimination because they don't want to build websites for gay couples. This is absolutely ludicrous that we're at the point. I mean, like this is like. This is a freaking circus. How are you going to have decisions by the highest court of the land based on what ifs? How are you going to have decisions that impact the entire country based on what ifs, on hypotheticals? They're bad faith actors, so they're hard to fight them. Bro, Chuds were celebrating all over this weekend. Yeah, I know. It's just been L after L this weekend. This weekend was rough in terms of like decisions. I do agree that the legitimacy of the Supreme Court is absolutely in question, and I would make the argument that the Supreme Court in this state is not legitimate. The Supreme Court in this state is not legitimate. You just cannot be conducting yourself in this manner to make decisions, and this is not even the first time. This is not even the first time this has happened. This is just one of the more egregious examples. Clarence Thomas hates affirmative action because people are mean to him at Harvard Law. That's it. Not surprising. Bush v. Gore opened my eyes that the SCOTUS is clearly BS. That's a good point. That is a good point. All right, we're going to end on a Don't forget who was the governor of Florida during the Bush v. Gore. Jeb Bush. Yep. If you don't follow Amen Animations, you absolutely should.
I mean, think about it. As Christians, we are fighting a war against the devil himself. We are advancing against the darkest forces of the universe. And we're marching with God on our side. And all the while, all around us, on a dimension that's invisible to our mortal eyes, there are angels.
By the way, all of this is things that he's said.
And demons and supernatural forces, both good and evil, and they're fighting and they're working to defend and destroy us. And this is all happening all around us. The stakes are infinite. Our souls hang in the balance. We're standing on a battlefield right now as we speak. We are soldiers.
Some people demand that we, have evidence outside the Bible. And I think that's kind of silly, personally.
There's no secular argument against adult incest. Brother and sister want to make love. What's your argument? That they're going to produce mentally retarded offspring? It's nonsense.
But let's just say, hypothetically, you got a man who stumbles across a DVD, a laptop that's got...
Hypothetically. By the way, these are all real quotes. These are all clips that are taken. This is not AI. This is not generated with his voice. No, these are things he's actually said. You can look up the quotes. On that note, somebody should investigate this guy, man. Seriously, what a creep. Only those freaks think about this shit. Oh yeah, 100%. That's what makes this like so much more how do I say this, more exaggerated, accentuated, because this is horror, but because these are horrific people saying horrific things, it's just so perfect. It's just so perfect. I like that. That's a perfect emote.
A bunch of child porn downloaded on it, and so he watches it. Now, you would probably, even as an atheist, I think you would instinctively say that he's wrong for watching. But why? It's not hurting anybody. Just as they'll condemn slavery, even when the slavery benefits most people in society. Actually, what we can say is that we'd all end up worse. All of us today would be in a worse spot if slavery never existed at all across the entire globe.
There were undoubted.
Yeah. Wasn't Walsh advocating for marrying and bearing children with girls under 18, girls under 16? Oh, he said something to the effect of like, they are at the height of fertility or something. That quote is in here too. Well, yeah, that quote isn't here.
Many nice slaveholders in the South.
I am me, but I wish I were more than me. You know, a dolphin can't do that. But if there is no God, then this is kind of the entire story of mankind. Man desiring to be free from himself, to be more than what he is, more than material.
The will of man's heart is towards evil from his youth.
If we research to cure doubt, then we're still relying on our own understanding and we're demanding proof. All he needs me to do is just come to the cross, kneel before it, and say, I'm here, Lord. Change me. Although we should always be very careful with that prayer, the change me prayer.
So if you don't know, that it's a real thing. If you don't know what the reference is, it's a real thing. Here. This is on the Daily Wire. This is on the Daily Wire site. This is an actual thing that's for sale for $25. Yeah, this is an actual thing that's on sale for $25. These people are freaks. Yes, they are. Just so that we're all clued in on the context as to where this is coming from.
He'll do it. He'll do it in ways that you didn't expect.
Babies are not kind. Babies are not murderers, not rapists, but they're not kind. They're pure narcissism. All of life exists for them.
But the question is not whether a thing hurts someone. The question is, why should I care that I hurt someone? Why shouldn't I hurt someone? Why is God hidden? Why is he hidden from us? I'll admit that I've had moments in prayer sometimes where I say to God, God, if you would just reveal yourself. I mean, can you just reveal yourself? Can you come out of the shadows just for 1 second and just show me your glory in all of its fullness, just for 1 second. That's all I'm asking for, just 1 second. But the vision never comes. But what is a woman? You just really don't want to answer the questions, do you?
I want mommy, I want milk, I want to be held, I want to be comforted. And if you do not do all these things immediately, I will ruin your life.
Ever since the beginning of time, teenage girls have been getting pregnant. Girls between the ages of like 17 and 24 is when they're technically most fertile, okay? That's biological. That's a fact, all right? I'm just stating facts. That's all I'm doing. So what I'm saying is that the problem is not per se teenage pregnancy. It's unwed pregnancy. That's the problem in society.
I violate my kids' consent all the time.
Congratulations, Elon. 4 billion views.
Yeah. Too violent? I mean, these people are. I think it encapsulates them perfectly. I think this kind of content encapsulates them perfectly. What a creepy little dance. Yeah, he is creepy. Like, all of this is perfect in terms of, like, the genre horror, just kind of like going into the minds of these freaks, it all makes perfect sense, and it just exaggerates and puts everything into a nice package as to who these people are deep down. And my understanding was that Dave Rubin, that he unalived? And it's more evidence that these people are psychopaths, and it's people like that that seek power and will do insane thing to get these. Yeah, exactly. Has anyone bought any of these dolls for voodoo? I don't know. I couldn't even buy these dolls to have anywhere to protest or to burn or to anything. Can you imagine like being in possession? He calls his viewers, his audience, Sweet Baby Gang. Okay?
Yes, this is... I'm done gaslighting the SBG. Yes, this is...
I'm done gaslighting the Sweet Baby Gang. That's SBG. Okay? I would be too scared of it, yeah.
A Sweet Baby plush. You are not hallucinating. He's been lurking behind me in smug silence for months now. At first, I thought this was a prank that the company was playing on me as they prodded with Matt, the stuffed walrus, was such a success. You know, we have to make this next. But the joke didn't end there because it was not so much a joke as it was an attempt to offend God and offend all people of all decent people with... I can't even hold this thing and talk. I've been informed that as of today, you can get your own, very own stuffed Sweet Baby.
Is he signaling certain perversions? Oh, 100%.
Maybe by purchasing yours from the Swag Shack at dailywire.com/shop. I never asked for this, but some of you have, and this is your fault. God help us all.
And yet here we are selling it for $25 a pop while referencing your audience as a Sweet Baby Gang. Yeah. If you want the video link to this. Yeah, by the way, all the sources for where all of this audio came from is in the description. So like anti-capitalist CGI animations. I mean, yeah, you can always send me links you can send me that link in the DMs. I wonder if the demographic group of buyers. I'm pretty sure they're the same demographic who cry okay groomer and end up being on the FBI under investigation or whatever. It's probably those same people. It's not so much anti-capitalist as it is anti-grifting. Well, it's mostly showing the horrors of the right wing. But he has more animations or CGI Blender made videos. I mean, you can, the more you watch, you can clearly kind of tell what the gist is. This was just on Matt Walsh. But yeah. You should watch the, I think it's Bernie. What is it called? Punished Bernie. Punished Bernie. You can catch, you can pretty much pick up what he's throwing down. That was one of the best. Yeah, that was a good one. The CGI is entertaining. The audio is downright terrifying. It's downright terrifying because it's true. It's true. That's what's terrifying about it. All of this was things that they've said. Just with like the very tense music in the background and all the animations and whatnot. But yeah, what's terrifying is that it's 100% things that they've said. All right, folks. We did it. We got through everything. I unfortunately got to get going, folks. Thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for the for all the support. Thank you to the new follows. Thank you for the subscriptions, the biddies. Thank you, Yellow King. Thank you, Judgment. Thank you, Alio, for the biddies and subscriptions and all that. You guys are what makes this channel go. I appreciate it. If you guys enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the follow button on your way out. It does help us, and it's not terrifying because of what they said. It's how big their audience is. True. True. That's another good point. I think it's just like, it's terrifying because it's true. And by true, I mean like they've said it. These are things that they've absolutely said, and people, large amounts of groups of people think that this is okay. A-Bond with the 300 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Seriously, thank you for the support. I appreciate you guys. See you next time. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Have a lovely day. Thank you so much. Thank you, Michael Hasser. I appreciate it. Another 500 biddies on the way out. Jesus. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. This was his best work, although others are more fun. True. I think he's honing in on that genre. It's a good point. Hype train. Oh man, thank you so much. I appreciate it. 500 biddies 2023, more like 1984. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And as Michael Hasser posted the link there, if you guys want to continue to support the channel but can't monetarily, you can head on over to the YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. It really does help us out. Spread the word. We're here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Folks, I gotta head out of here. As always, please stay safe. Oh god, now you guys just created a hype train. Oh man. You guys just made a hype train. Alright, listen. Because of the hype train, we're gonna ride out the hype train, okay? Jeez. Fafufa, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. All right, I guess we're doing the
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap. Gay. Frogs, friggin' frogs.
A-Bomb with 200, 300 for 2023. Thank you.
Frogs! Friggin' frog crap! Won't you fight the frogs? It's not funny! I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Frogs! Place point. I don't want to see him kissing goblins. Ingratiating goblins, in bed with a goblin. I don't want to see him kissing goblins, succubus with goblins, ingratiating goblins,
In bed with a goblin. Kissing goblins.
Judgment with another tier 1 sub.
Ingratiating goblins. In bed with a goblin. Kissing goblins. Ingratiating goblins.
At the other one in the pocket. There you go. You made it.
Dump it. Charging into a goblin's nest, some goblin vomit and slop and blood on it. Especially up to his ankles. Trump charging into a goblin's nest, some goblin vomit and slop. Goblin vomit and slop. I'm not expecting him to not get dirty slop. Kissing goblins. Ingratiating goblins. Succubus with goblins. In bed with a goblin. Kissing goblins. Ingratiating goblins. I just want to catch him in bed with a goblin. 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 I just want to catch him in bed with a goblin. Bed with a goblin.
Yeah.
Leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your
Whoa.
ass.
This is well done. 5 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
My children aren't going hungry. I'll do it.
Another 100 biddies. Thank you.
And I'm starting to think about having to eat my neighbors. You think I like size it up? I'm gonna haul him up back chain. Chop his ass up, size it up. I'm gonna haul him up back chain. Chop, 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 chop.
Another 100 biddies. Thank you.
Corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. Your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. I'll barbecue your ass flat. I will cook your ass up so fast, and I'll tell them, "Oh, I killed a cow out back, baby." You think Christ would eat somebody? He would never do that. I will. I'm ready to hang them up, gut them, and skin them, and chop them up. You know what? I'm ready. I will eat your leftist ass like
Jesus.
corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat
2023 with another gifted sub.
leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. That's why I want the globalists to know. I will eat your ass first. I swear to God, if it's the last thing I do, I'm gonna get my hands around your throat.
Oh, man.
The paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry.
Right on.
I've had enough of these people.
Level 2 completed.
Bunch of Christian murderers scum. They're on giant death factories keeping babies alive and selling their body parts. What more do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, "We love Satan, we wanna eat babies." I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot and the goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that.
Another tier 1 sub.
We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice hell itself rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna say, we love our Somalis, we love our Muslims.
2023 with another 200 biddies.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
That's the best part of this whole thing.
You're going to live in a tank and be tied into this virtual world. You'll be able to wire your head in and just get unlimited pleasure. You'll feel
1K
like
badge,
10 times
nice.
the best orgasm for 3 days if you want straight. They're taking the DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. The DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. The DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. The DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. The DMT. There's the owners of True Frequency Radio. They believe they're communicating with entities. They call them clockwork elves. I'm not going to get into what they're interfacing with. They believe they're in contact with off-world groups. Chris Geo, True Frequency Radio, he takes it. You see the elves, little green hats. We're in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We're in trouble. The clockwork elves, all of it, I shouldn't even get into it. There's a reason they're all whacked out of their minds. They're taking DMT. And the point is that their whole science is way ahead. We don't even know what they've got. They're in power because they're taking the DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. Chris Geo took the DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. Chris Geo took the DMT. You think they're all a bunch of old men? They're in power because they were into this stuff 70 years ago. The DMT. They were jacking DMT 70 years ago. They were injecting it. They're taking the DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. Chris Geo took the DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. True Frequency Radio took the DMT. I shouldn't even get into it.
Oh man. Whew. Clockwork Elves? I don't know what that is. I've never heard this one. I found this gem. I found this gem thanks to my girlfriend. There's so many of these like Alex Jones Alex Jones remixes. It's hard to keep up, but they're all hilarious. And perfect timing, too. We made it to level 3. Hype Train. Thank you guys so much. What a way to end the stream. What a way to end the stream. Thank you guys so much for your support. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys. You guys are really makes this channel grow. Thank you to all the biddies. 2023 Judgment Free Zone. Alio. Let's see. Yes. I think I got everybody. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. So many biddies, so many gifted subs. Thank you. You're valued. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Certainly. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Michael Hatzler, for keeping the chat cool. For some reason, like maybe I need to talk to OG Prodigy because Pasadabot keeps eating its own messages. That's kind of weird. Thank you guys. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. I appreciate it. Again, follow, subscribe, like, all that awesome stuff. You guys are what makes this channel grow. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See ya. All right, folks, hang tight. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.